Developments in a double murder case that's been marked by twists and turns for a long time. Richard Allen, the man accused of killing two young girls in Delphi, Indiana, he was back in court today for a pair of hearings on his case, big, important hearings, and you've got the trial coming up. Allen's charged with the 2017 murders of teenage best friends Libby German and Abby Williams. And in the first hearing, a judge made a decision on additional charges against Allen. It was the second hearing where arguments were heard about prosecution evidence that was not being shared. That was an interesting development. I want to go live now to NewsNation correspondent Alex Caprariello. He's in Fort Wayne, Indiana. He was in the courtroom all day, which thank goodness you were there, because this is one of those situations. Judge said no cameras allowed inside. So if you weren't in there, we wouldn't really know exactly what happened. Tell us about this new bombshell testimony from defense witnesses, Alex.
Yeah, to your point, if I was not in there just now 15 minutes ago, I wouldn't have this breaking news information to share with you. This is what we were talking about when it comes to exculpatory evidence that the defense feels like they do not have, that they should have, and now we know exactly what that is. It has to do with other persons of interest, possible suspects at the time that the murder actually happened, interviews that actually happened with other men who are not Richard Allen that they believe they need more information about. I'm going to withhold from actually sharing their names because these men were not charged with any sort of crime at this point. But the story goes that at least 3 other men might have been involved with these murders, and that one of them was actually interviewed by police and FBI in the days immediately following that murder actually happening. Now, what does the defense not have that they wish that they have was actual video and audio from that FBI interview with that person's of interest about exactly what he knows about it. The reason that they don't have it, Brian, it's because all of that video, all of that audio from that interview accidentally got erased. Just now was the police chief in Delphi at the times of the murder, and he was telling all about how they had a new video system equipment that was actually implemented at the time that these crimes occurred. And although this interview was likely very, very important, we know so because the defense is demanding that they actually have it, doesn't exist at this point. No audio, no video. So while there might be other people out here that could be connected to this crime that aren't named Richard Allen, at this point the defense will never actually know what was said within that video and within that audio, within that interrogation room. What they do have to rely on, which the prosecution is pointing out very clearly to the judge, is summary reports from FBI agents about what exactly was discussed during that interrogation room. But the defense's point, which is that's just not good enough. I want to hear that audio, I want to see that video, and we just don't have it. Earlier today, though, it was all about the crime scene photo leaks that actually occurred in the months in 2023. All of a sudden, TikTokers and true crime enthusiasts now all of a sudden had access to very, very critical pieces of evidence and photos, specifically of these 2 teenage girls and in the state that they were in when they were initially discovered. This was a big deal because it could lead to contempt charges for the defense attorneys who were somewhat responsible because it was someone within their office that actually leaked the photos. But overall, everyone I speak to say it is a very, very bad thing as we move closer and closer to a trial that a crime scene leak occurred even in the first place. Let's take a listen.
Most people will tell you that when crime scene photos are leaked, that does not help a defense. When the public sees this kind of thing, when you see butchering of young ladies and you see those kind of crime scene photos, I don't know how that helps any defendant. You know, that normally poisons the public against the defendant. So I don't know why the defense would ever be culpable in leaking something that would hurt their client.
And the unfortunate thing is that so many people already know so much about this case because everyone has been so invested in it. It was a cold case murder for so long, so many years, that everyone was trying to pry into it. And to the defense's point, it seems as if it's not just the defense attorneys who might be somewhat responsible for leaks. They're pointing to other members of Indiana State Police, other members of the prosecution who might have accidentally let things slip out into the public sphere. And that's what could lead to a biased or unfair jury when this does go to trial in May.
Yeah, I mean, look, there have been issues with this case. The crime scene photo leaks, like you said, now you're reporting on the fact that video was deleted, that the defense attorneys are trying to get. Today, they dropped the kidnapping charges against Richard Allen. They dismissed them, so that's new. I mean, there's so many moving parts of this. Alex, we appreciate the report. We'll get back to you if anything else develops. Okay, still to come tonight, the